Welcome to Blade HQ everybody, and welcome to our new tutorial series. Today we're going to talk about wrapping your handle in paracord, why you might want to, what knives are good for it, and how to make your handle the best it can be. Let's talk knives. There are a few reasons you might want to wrap your handle in paracord. The first being, if your knife is skeletonized, it can add a lot of ergonomic comfort to your knife. Also, even if your knife has scales, adding a paracord wrap can make it wider and thicker and more comfortable in your hand. Paracord also has a lot of survival benefits, and there's a world of resources out there to see all the crazy things you can do with paracord, but we're a knife channel, we won't focus too much on that. And lastly, paracord is a really great way to add some style to your knife and make it distinctly yours. If you want to wrap your handle in paracord, there's a few things you need to consider. First of all is the knife itself. You need to have several holes through the handle, or at least handle contours that can hold paracord on the handle. If you don't, the paracord can slide off the back and it won't work at all. The next thing you should consider is the sheath. If your sheath clips onto the handle of the blade like this, where it's actually on the steel of the blade, it's going to be great for a paracord wrap. However, if your knife jumps around the handle, like on this MKM TPF Defense, if it goes around the handle, this will not function well with a paracord wrap. So you need to make sure that your sheath works for a paracord wrap as well. But without further ado, let's show you how to wrap a knife handle in paracord. I'll show you a few wraps today, and the easiest one I'm going to show you, I don't know what we call it. It reminds me of a fishtail braid that some girls will do with their hair. So what you do is you start by looping the paracord over the handle like this, and then you're going to follow a consistent left-right pattern. So you're going to take the cord on the left, feed it through the handle. Cord on the right, feed it through the handle. Then you're going to pull it tight, and this is the key to a good paracord wrap, is you need to keep it tight. Make sure that there's not too much slop, because it can make for a squishy and slippery handle, which can be unsafe and uncomfortable. Then we're going to do the same thing. Left, through. Right, through. Left, through. Right, through. So if you vary from the left-right pattern, it'll still make a good wrap. But say I go right this time, and then I go left, and it gives me an awkward double jump there. You can see right there. And this is perfectly fine. It will not affect the function of the handle at all, but it doesn't look as pretty. So try to go with that left-right pattern. So we already have left and right. So you're going to repeat this sequence all the way until you reach the end of your knife, or in this case with the Azula, we reach the ring. You could continue going left and right into the hole, but with this one, I like to keep the ring intact. I feel like that's a very important part of the Azula. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to wrap these around in a tight circle around like this. And then when you reach the pommel here, you're going to give yourself just a little bit of slack, feed your loop through it. That's called a half hitch, and it's a great way to tie it off. And then you're going to repeat the same process on the other side. Give yourself a little bit of slack, feed your end through it, pull it tight, and there you have a finished knife wrap. And then you can do something fun here, maybe do a 2-strand diamond knot or something. There's a billion tutorials on how to do that. But for here, I'll just tie it off with a simple overhand knot. And then I probably trim these ends and singe them. And there we go. We have a beautiful wrapped handle. Now, if you prefer to have your ends tucked, you can check out this video from my friend Amanda we did a long time ago where she shows you how to use hemostatic pliers to pull your ends all the way deep into the handle. But that's a little bit above my pay grade, and I like cool knots on the end. Now with this next knife, I did pull the handle scales off so I could wrap it. However, some people might just prefer the handle scales. I generally do, so I'll probably put these back on after the video. Some people prefer a little bit more of a girth in the handle to fill out their hand while they use their knife. And so this next one I'm going to show you is a great way to add a little bit more thickness to your handle. Start by threading a piece of paracord through the handle in some way. I'll use this little hole right here. I think that's what it's designed for, actually. If you've ever made a paracord bracelet and you used the Solomon bar or the Cobra weave like you see on a lot of those survival bracelets, you know how to do what we're about to do. However, instead of keeping those knots along the spine, we're going to keep them along the middle. Let me show you. Start by holding the knife like this, and then you're going to take the side on your right and bring it over the top. And then the left, you're going to go around that string that you just made and around the bottom and then up through the handle right there. Excuse me, up through the loop you just made. And you're gonna pull it a little tight, but try not to cut yourself while you're doing this. Pull it a little tight, and then you're gonna repeat the same process, but this time you're gonna start on the left. It goes over, the right goes around, and up through the loop you made. Pull it tight, keep it down the middle. Now you're gonna repeat the process on the right. Right goes over, left goes around, and up through the loop you just made. You pull it tight. And then you're going to repeat this on both sides all the way down the knife. So some of you keen viewers may see that we are kind of just tying square knots over and over and over again. But this one is known as the Solomon bar or as the Cobra weave to many knot tiers out there. It's a really handy way to store a lot of paracord and also to have a nice knife handle or bracelet or whatever. Now, one thing you may notice along this way is you are forming a bit of a cavity inside your handle. And if you want to store a piece of gear in there, maybe a ferro rod, or I have a $20 bill right here, you can just stuff that in your handle between your wrap, keep on tying it, and you'll have a little bit of a nest egg in your knife handle. To finish your handle, you're going to take your ends and you're going to go through both sides of the lanyard hole at the bottom. Pull it tight, tie a knot at the end, however you want, maybe throw a bead on there, and you've got yourself a wrapped paracord handle with a nice palm swell too. Something you can really use for a long time and still feel comfortable. And mine's worth $20 more now. So there you have it. That's just a couple of ways that you can wrap a paracord handle, but don't feel at all like this is the only way you can do it. There is a world of different ways to wrap paracord handles, to make them big, small, double wraps, triple wraps even, maybe add some stitching in there. There's a million ways to make your paracord wrap as cool as it possibly can be. So hopefully this is a good starting place on your journey, and happy wrapping. We'll see you next time.